too bad I missed recording that just because of the camera. There's a guy riding his bike and yodeling. I'm like, that's interesting. I've been reading your guys' comments about the camera and stuff too, and I think we've made a decision overall, just from what I read and everything like that. I'll get into a little later about the specifics. Just want to start it off too saying thank you guys again. I was just checking my messages and I noticed you guys were still donating to me. I mean, at this point, I'll basically save up any additional funds and stuff just for any future items or anything like that. For example, maybe there's something that I could potentially get to make things a lot better in terms of the videos and stuff like that. But I'll basically keep it for the time being, and in case something comes up, then maybe it will be an option in the future. So thank you again, as it goes a long way. I'll bring it up again a little later as it's kind of related. The first thing I read today was kind of awesome. It's basically about Grouse Mountain. It was actually in my mind too, because one of you mentioned when you looked at the drone video, you're asking, is that Grouse Mountain in the background? And indeed it is. So this apparently just happened a few days ago, but more details are coming in. It says here, Grouse Mountain rewards heroes who rescued 8-year-old dangling from chairlift. So as it turned out, a child was on a chairlift, I believe it was with the parents, and for some reason I guess he fell and he was basically hanging on. They were grabbing into him, he was dangling there like, what do you do? What do you do? And apparently the lift operators couldn't hear it, which is understandable, so they just kept going and going as they went up. Now obviously a lot of people saw that. That must be horrific to see something like that. But when people saw that, a bunch of people, like just bystanders, including, for example, a couple of teens, basically took a piece, it says, out of the bounds netting to help cushion the boy's fall. So they apparently created something and they encouraged him to first take off his skis apparently, and he basically dropped and they caught him with it. So I believe for a lot of the news report for this around the world, a lot of people are congratulating people like the teens, but apparently there were more people involved. Like it says here, while the story so far has focused on the heroic actions of 5 youth who helped catch the boy, the news has learned 2 other good Samaritans who rushed to help as well, Peter Pian and Danielle McKinney. Because apparently he was actually the one that grabbed the fence, and I guess afterwards the teens were actually the ones to hold it open and everything like that. But either way, what an awesome story, huh? Just a lot of quick thinking overall in terms of what to do, because most people you just freeze like, oh my god. And I found this story interesting because with the new drone regulations coming here, I personally say if you really want to educate people on for very basic stuff, it should be as simple as where can you fly and where can't you fly. And then basically in the US they have like this app, it says before you fly, I believe it's supposed to, if I'm not mistaken, tell you where you can and cannot fly. But this one here says FAA's awful drone app before you fly to undergo private sector revamp. Can a stodgy bureaucracy also do cutting-edge app development? The folks at the FAA, the well-meaning heel to US-based drone advocates, is ready to admit the answer is no, not really. The app in question is called Before You Fly, aimed at recreational drone users. Its purpose is to help people decipher FAA recreational flight rules in the real world by pointing out where they can fly. So apparently because of all the bad reviews of this app and so forth, it says the FAA is looking for a little outside help. Kittyhawk, a commercial drone logistics company, is stepping into the fray into the public-private partnership to redevelop Before You Fly. Well, I guess that's good to improve something like that. It makes me wonder, is this how it works usually? Like a company gets into there with like government-related stuff, like we know what we're doing, just let us do it, and then everything gets dictated from there? Because it says here, it's a nice bit of cozying up to the regulators on the part of Kittyhawk, whose drone management platform helps operations manage drones, fleets that do things like infrastructure inspection. Okay, now for some talk about the camera replacement. Hopefully you guys won't have to deal with this anymore anytime soon. Shaky video, low quality and all that. So it seemed like for the most part I was reading the comments and just trying to analyze everything. It seems most of you are in agreement. It just seems like the old camera I use, the FDR X3000, is the best at the moment for my use. So I think it's pretty conclusive. That's the one that I should go for. Again, the only reservation about that camera is the fact that it's over 2 years old. You're paying full retail price for that. Like, you might as well get something that's modern day, but it's just the best in terms of the design and functionality for how I use it at the moment. And as one of you guys said, I could get like a supplement camera sometime in the future if things work out and all that, but for the time being, I guess that's probably the best option. So one of you guys brought up the topic of let's try to get like a used one. Everything I saw in terms of used prices, they're so similar to the new one. Because most of them, like I'm just using an example, like this is one of the site you guys gave me before about the used one, like the Adorama. Like one of them, it has what, $219, but apparently that F-class rating, like what does it says here for F-class rating? It says for the F-class rating, items work with certain malfunctions. read comment for exact details. So I don't think we want to invest in something like that, correct? And again, with the rating on this site, apparently the D rating is the only one that says little to no wear and tear. But you can see there for that, it's $319 US anyways on their site. And the brand new one on their site is about $369. So is it worth it buying something used with no warranty and something like that just to save like the $50 US? I think in that case, it makes more sense just to buy the new one, correct? Just to have the warranty and everything like that. The other camera that was mentioned in the comments was the Ricoh one, the 360 camera, but holy smokes, that thing's way too expensive at the moment. It's $999 US, that's like what? Almost 1,400 Canadian, not including any other stuff. Like I said, with the memory for the hard drive, it'll take up so much more. I'm not sure about the workflow on that thing, the audio, like who knows, because I don't think anyone's actually had an actual working unit to test and all that, so it's way too risky in my opinion. And plus, if we were trying to save up for something like that, there's the factor of the sanity. Does that mean I have to use something like this for another, what, half a year of this? Like, holy cow, I don't know, man. I don't think that's doable. That relates to the donation you guys sent me today. For any funds like that, I'll basically save it up and use it for any potential future gear. If we see something great, then bring it up to my attention and I'll use that as a factor to say, can I afford it? With like the extra help and everything like that as well. So with that in mind, like with items like the GoPro and stuff before, in terms of the options, since you guys said it was more about the ability to possibly shoot more things as opposed to like quality and all that with things like vest attachments, I guess the funny thing is, since it's pretty set that it's going to be the Sony again, I was trying to look for the best deals, and it seems like a lot of the sites actually, when you buy that camera now, they're going to give you free options. Like you could get like that vest, for example. Where should I buy the camera? And what should I get in terms of the bonus accessory that you think I could potentially use in the future, maybe for fun at times? Like which one do you think would be best? So the first one I saw was from the Best Buy site, and apparently when you buy that action camera, you can buy one of these mounts for free. So you can either get this, the Action Cam wrist mount, an Action Cam dog harness mount, or an Action Cam chest mount harness. So out of all those, if I was to buy it from this store, which one of these do you guys think I should get for free that I could potentially use? And just a brief point about that, I was just reading about this mount harness for the body. People were saying it was missing a piece or something like that to actually work. Like I'm not really sure, but just keep that in mind, I guess. And the other site I saw is actually US based. It's the B&H Photo, and they say when you buy the action camera from them, they'll give you a free Sony Universal Headband Mount for Action Cam. So this is in the US, but they will ship it here with all the taxes and everything like that. If this is correct with the calculations with the currency exchange, it's actually about $10 Canadian cheaper, I believe, overall. But it is from the US and it's a different option in terms of accessories. So as a last question for everyone, especially for the people who donated me money, which accessory should I get for the camera? Because that will dictate where I should get it from. In terms of shipping and stuff, I will assume it takes a lot longer, obviously, to come through the US through all the border stuff and all that. But in general, if you feel, for example, that head mount is going to be a lot better, then let me know. Or likewise, if you think the body mount or the one for the dog, even though I don't have one, but I see like a lot of dogs, like would be better, then let me know and I'll order that one from the Best Buy instead. With that all decided, I'll order the thing at Sunday evening afterwards once I read everyone's comments and all that. It's always the kids that the animals are terrified of, huh? And for the Joby, I've been checking, I haven't received it yet. I'll keep an eye out for it still though, of course. If I get it, you'll see it. Alright, see you guys later.